I figured we were talking about before that there's basically you have a choice between two bits that are just lying right there.
Yeah.
To start with?
Yeah.
To start.
And it's whether you want to start.
Well,
I might surprise you because I had a third door.
Ooh.
Door
I,
number
A forbidden
3.
door?
I also have a bit, but I want to see what you guys' bits are.
All right, no, I want your
Well, I
bit.
think there's an obvious bit.
There's
Yeah,
two obvious
there's
bits.
two obvious bits.
Yeah.
One is better than the other, in my opinion.
All right. Let's do them all.
Okay. So the most obvious and worst one is get to the podcast, but you say it in an Arnold voice. Like, get to the podcast. That was not Arnold.
But yeah.
No,
Number 2.
that was Watto.
That was Watto.
That was Watto.
I want to say the number 2.
Yep.
All
The
right.
number 2 is podcast, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there was a third option. It's very obvious. I don't know why no one else thought to do this.
Oh, if it podcasts, we can kill it.
If
If it
only.
bleeds, we can podcast.
You're going to want to kill it after this. So my thinking was something more like, he's invisible, he's in the trees, he's got poor Arnold on his knees, he's begging God, save me please from the predator. So as you guys know, I don't know how to start the podcast, so it'll either be a new theme song every time, depending on the movie, or something along the lines of, welcome to Late to the Movies. My name is Ben, and this is a podcast where my friends and I get to fill in our movie blind spots. Each week we'll pick a movie that either I or a guest hadn't seen before, and really should have by now. This week, as you might have guessed, the movie is Predator.
Is this just the Bill Murray lounge singer bit? But for your
No,
podcast?
no one's still alive who gets that reference.
How dare you? My mom listens to this podcast, I think.
And you made the reference. So, my guest left, right across your podcast dial this week. We got Vaz.
Ben, you son of a bitch.
We got Bree.
Hello.
We got Sam.
Ben, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, fair enough. I like your shirt, by the way. It's a great shirt.
Thank you.
It's a Predator shirt for those not at home.
No,
I mean,
they
those
don't
not
get
here.
to know if they're
Yeah, you
not here.
should, you should watch the video content.
Yeah. Soon. Well, I think we're going to try and do some remote podcasting
Like and
soon, but not yet. This one isn't on streaming. Yeah, this is Watch the Skies month. In our episode that came out earlier today, we made a big deal at the beginning that, we got to pick a name for the month. We need to by the end of the episode. We all forgot about it. We didn't do it by the end of the episode. I suggested Watch the Skies month. No one suggested anything else, so it stays.
That's default winner. right
That's the
there.
default winner. It's a
Congratulations.
whole
Yeah.
congratulations to Watch the
You
Skies.
haven't named
the
a month on
phrase.
your own podcast before, so it's good.
I was congratulating the phrase.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Congratulations to Watch the Skies for being the name of this month.
We don't congratulate under the line
Yeah.
people.
The whole month is going to be about alien invasions, encounters, incursions. Essentially, it's times where aliens come to Earth. If we go to the aliens out in space, doesn't qualify.
yeah.
Get out of here. And we're halfway through, I guess, because this is episode 2 of 4. It's going pretty well so far.
Yep.
Yeah, very different than Arrival. The alien in this one.
I would have to assume there was no Arrival scene where they yelled, if it bleeds, we can kill it.
I mean, some of the soldiers in Arrival who get squarely are kind of probably thinking they're in Predator, but they're not. But we are now, I guess. Yeah, I have some questions. Don't let me forget to ask them at the end of thought questions. But, we do our normal movie stuff first. What have you guys seen recently that's been fun or good or just happened?
WrestleMania.
Yeah,
It was-
WrestleMania.
It was bad.
You
We
didn't
don't
like
have to
it?
talk about it. We don't have to-
I haven't seen it. I saw the stuff about it.
yeah, it's bad.
You didn't
The-
like it?
I really
You like night
liked
one?
I really liked the triple threat of the three big boys slapping meat. That was fun. I loved that. Literally might be my favorite match of all time. But no, the rest of there were good stuff.
I like the Mysterio fight.
Yeah.
I thought I was very scared that we're gonna have Dominic win.
I kind of wanted Dominic to win.
That's what I
Oh
said.
no,
He
I
was
did not.
he just got out of prison. He's deserved.
Hard
it.
time.
All right, and that's been your wrestling minute. Vaz, what have you watched?
I watched Dungeons and Dragons. Among Thieves.
really?
Honor Among Thieves. Yeah. Why?
I'll get it. I also
Ben-
watched it last
Oh,
night,
yeah, I
so
wanna
we
know
can
if
talk
it's
about
good.
it.
Is it
It's
good?
good.
Yeah, it's good.
But
It's
actually,
fun.
On a scale of 1 to Jumanji, how is it? New Jumanji, sorry.
Jumanji?
Jumanji.
Better than I didn't.
Is it better than
It's
Jumanji?
fine. I don't like the Rockin' movies anymore. But
I like the new Jumanji. Well, I haven't
I
seen
didn't
the
dislike.
second
I didn't
Jumanji.
dislike the movie. I'm just saying, as far as a central character, I like Chris Pine a lot more than The Rock.
Mm.
Yeah, there's a lot of charisma in this movie between Chris Pine and Hugh Grant.
Yep.
Ooh.
The rest of the cast is
I'd
also
say
doing pretty well.
Michelle
in there, too.
Rodriguez is really good.
Yeah,
in
she
it.
is.
Yeah.
And of course, is Michelle Rodriguez playing a character or is she playing Michelle Rodriguez?
Closer to a character.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yes. With like a backstory and like kind of shoulders a lot of the emotional core of what's
That's
going on.
good. So it's
'Cause
not like
Chris Pine has to be sillier.
and her story isn't like she was born on the hard streets of some city in America.
I mean, she's
Technically,
a
everywhere's a
barbarian,
hard
right?
place.
Yeah, it's D&D. So, but no, she was not born in America in
Yes.
this movie. There's a great cameo that was completely unspoiled for me, so that was fun.
Same.
Yeah.
I also
Stan
don't-
Lee was there?
They brought him back.
In an NFT.
NFT is a part of D&D now. Yeah.
Yeah, makes
Ugh.
It
sense.
felt like you were mid sentence.
Yeah, sorry.
I have no idea what I was
Oh,
doing.
okay.
You
cool.
said you said that there it was a cameo thing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Great
Let's
cameo, wasn't
let's keep
spoiled for
going.
me.
Sorry.
I also watched D&D Honor Among Thieves. It's great. It's not, if you're not that into D&D, which I think a lot of our listeners maybe aren't, but at least 10% of the people listening are people I play D&D with. It's more like 5% now. We're growing. It's not so much about references to things that you'll feel lost for not getting. There's, the place names that they go are real places, and there's like a couple characters that are mentioned that are also in D&D, but none of them are the main characters. So basically no worries about that. It mostly captures the vibe of a D&D session that goes way off the rails.
So
And-
most, I would assume.
Yeah, it's like, you as a party form a plan, and then it just turns into like a Rube Goldberg machine of shit.
Yep.
And that's it. That's like the whole movie, which is great.
And it does play
dedication.
out like a heist film too.
Oh, that's good.
Pop quiz.
Pop quiz.
Chris Pine is, I guess, not necessarily Harrison Ford, but the closest we get.
Oh, wow.
Anymore?
They're both Jack Ryans.
Hold on. Need to. Okay, and I'm back.
I mean,
Yep. No, you're right. I just didn't hear anyone
You're right.
say
You
it.
should say it.
you're right. You should say it. He's the Harrison Ford we get.
Yep. Oh, I wish he was in more things.
I love Chris Pine.
Chris
Yeah.
Pine's in so
Speaking
much.
of which,
Well, no, it's just making me realize he couldn't. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah,
Pop quiz.
pop quiz. Rank the Chris's.
Oh.
Ooh.
Hollywood Chris ranking.
I am going to go. I might go Pine first. I'm gonna go Pine, Evans, Hemsworth. Then I'm gonna take a deep breath and then say Chris Pratt. And the worst thing is that if you ask me the stuff, like who's been in the stuff you like the most, it's Chris Pratt. I hate to say it, but it's true.
Guardians of the Galaxy holds that much weight for
I
you?
love Guardians of the Galaxy. It's my
There's only been
second.
two.
It's my second. Guardians 1 is
Yeah.
my second favorite MCU
They've
movie.
been in more
and it's not
non-Guardians
close.
movies.
And 2, I love 2 way more than everyone else.
You're also a
does.
big fan of Passengers.
Not me.
Yeah,
I
classic
think-
Passengers guy.
I love two.
I love the first 10 minutes of Wanted.
Yeah.
We can't go down a passenger's hole. Rank the Chris's.
I gotta go. If Hemsworth was in more than just Thor, I think I put him at 1.
Oh, you
but
can
he's
watch
not.
Spiderhead.
Ghostbusters.
No.
Cabin
no.
in the Woods. Does that do anything for
Oh,
you?
yeah. But not. He's not in.
Ghostbusters.
Snow White and the Huntsman. Did we
Yeah.
already make that joke?
I'd go Pine. No, Evans, Pine,
Ooh.
Hemsworth, Pratt.
If we're going by overall, like you said, in movies, it would definitely be Pine first, and then it would probably be Evans, Hemsworth, and then for all this space, and then we're gonna go Pratt. Every other Chris in Hollywood, and then Pratt.
I think it's Pine, Big Gap, Hemsworth, Big Gap, Evans, Pratt for me.
I think
Why do you
Evans
hate
does more
Evans?
interesting movies now.
I don't know,
Now that he's done with the.
I wanted a
MCU
straw
stuff.
man argument.
What did he do after MCU?
Right.
Snowpiercer.
I
That
thought
was
it
not
during.
after. That wasn't
Yeah.
after. That was 10 years ago.
I
I think that
also
was right after the first Captain
It's
America.
like over
wasn't
a
it?
decade
It was 2013.
I also made the point that I like Chris Pratt stuff because he's in my second favorite MCU movie. My favorite MCU movie is Thor Ragnarok.
Right. Yeah, they unlocked Hemsworth's funny side, and he can carry that off too, and
Yeah.
it'd be interesting to see what else he does. I don't know. Yeah, let's talk about Predator. Our disclosure form. I don't know that I'd ever sat down and back in the day popped in the VHS or DVD or brought it up on streaming ever before, but I've seen Predator probably the way a lot of people have. It was just on TV all the time.
Yeah.
You?
Honestly, same. I don't know. I can't
I
picture.
can't think of when I watched it.
Yeah,
It's like,
but I
I've
know
seen
I've seen
Predator
it.
for sure.
Like I watched it this time with fresh eyes, and it was like, no, I've seen this before. I don't remember when, but yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen so much media about it. I love like horror icons. I grew up in Florida, so I used to go to Halloween Horror Nights all the time, and there was always predator themed like attractions and stuff. But I never actually, but I never actually sat down and watched it. So
Cool. So
it was the first time.
So we can either count all of us or maybe just Bree.
Well, I haven't talked.
Oh,
I hadn't seen it.
So we're all somewhere in the same spectrum of like, I don't think I know for a fact I've never purposely sat down and been like, I'm watching Predator, but I had seen all of this before.
I knew the 5 lines that I think everyone knows.
Yes.
I knew Ain't Got Time to Bleed as well. I don't know if that one was a more famous one, but
You
I
knew
didn't
all
know
you knew
those-
all of Shane Black's jokes.
yeah.
I didn't know those jokes were from that movie.
But yeah, and I knew the plot, and I had played a shit ton of AVP, the video game, as a youth.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, that was weirdly my game of choice for a
A
while.
lot of people got into it.
So like, yeah, I knew the plot, and I watched AVP, the first one, which is terrible. That was the first movie I saw the Predator in, but that is true.
Yeah, whatever wins, we'd lose.
Yeah. That is the tagline.
Yeah,
I think it's
great
whoever,
tagline.
I don't have a bit to go off of that.
I think it's whoever wins, we lose. But yeah,
What did I say?
I saw that you said whatever, and these are real
Whatever
people.
wins, who lose?
No, I'm just correcting you because it's fun, not because it matters.
It doesn't matter because the humans won.
I think we teamed up with the Predator, didn't
We
we?
You
teamed up
do.
with the Predator, and it
Yep.
seems like the Predators win.
But the stinger,
Is they a chest burster pops out of one of them back on their ship.
Oh,
that's a Predator.
alien Predator.
Yeah,
Spoilers.
I saw.
Sorry for 2004.
Yeah, 2004. I was looking it up. I saw that in theaters. Had not at the time seen Alien or Predator.
That's true for me too.
Any Alien or
I
any
had-
Predator. It's just a movie that came out at a time when I needed a movie to see.
And I played the video game, so I got the gist of it.
I might have seen Aliens at that point. I definitely watched Aliens before I've watched Alien, and I am also not sure I've seen all of Alien in a one sit through either.
Oh, you should.
Oh,
That
no, I
movie
want
rocks.
to. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I want to get through all of the Predator movies and all of the Aliens.
I've definitely seen the ending of Alien, which made me think I caught half of it on the TV.
Oh yeah, that whole movie rocks. But so does this one, and this is the one we're talking about.
Predator.
Predator.
The other one.
Predator.
The other one.
Let's not say Predator.
I'd
Predator.
say it.
Predator.
Thank you, Bree. I think any of us are probably eligible to do a 1 minute plot summary, but who wants to give it a crack? A crack?
I can do it.
Well, I can do it if
You
you
want
want.
it? You haven't done one in a
All
while.
right, I'll do it.
Yeah.
All right, hit me.
Smack.
All right, so Arnold is and his buds are getting a vacation. They're going to a nice little place in Guatemala. They meet up with their friend Dylan, and then they go out into the forest. They go on a nice little hike. But then, oh no, a predator's there. And the predator is like, oh, I'm going to predator you. You got a skull? I want it. And he does that for like most of the guys. And then Schwarzenegger's like, nah. So he kills the predator, and then he goes away. That sounds about right.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
No, that really is the movie.
Oh, and there's also some parts where they're shooting a bunch of guys, and then these guys jump to get away from explosions.
Mhm.
You don't say.
They jump into trampolines, I think.
Yeah, you can see the floor just go bloop. Like,
So, have you seen any of the other Predator movies in any order? There was a kind of buzzy sort of reboot that came out on Hulu earlier this year called Prey.
oh, I
Prey.
heard that was really good too.
I saw Prey.
I have not.
I liked it.
I like
Yeah,
Prey.
I haven't seen them.
I also saw Predators.
Is that the Adrian Brody one?
Yeah, that one was good.
Yeah.
And then I also saw The Predator, the Shane Black one,
I was gonna say that's the Shane
Mhm.
Black one.
and that one was not good.
New. But cool. This movie's good, I think.
Yeah,
Hmm.
no, this one's good.
Oh yeah,
That's my take
we're
on
supposed
it.
to talk up front about whether we like it or not.
I just whoever I don't have it in front of me. There's one iTunes review that says like I like that they say up front whether they liked it or not, so it's not like a suspenseful thing.
Yeah.
It's like yeah, because I'm not trying to build suspense here. I like this movie a lot.
There's also a review that says I'm handsome.
That one's from you though.
You can't prove it.
I think you signed it.
It could have been another. It just said S. Holt. Could be anyone.
So this is the third Arnold movie we've done of the last 13 episodes. So we hadn't done any Arnold, and now he's like up there in the echelon. I think we've done 5 Keanu movies, but I think there's still 3
You did
is
3
pretty
Matrixes,
strong.
so that.
Did you do 4?
We did 4 Matrixes.
Oh, that's right. You did do 4.
And something's got to give. A great 5-some. Yeah,
I
but
watch them every night.
I think this movie is of all the movies we've done. I wonder if this one has been the most clipped and put into like montages or countdowns of top moments in 80s movies, action movies, horror movies. Best one-liners in action movies, or best kills in slasher movies, or whatever. Like, this is all over every single one of those lists and montages pretty much ever made.
And
I mean, The Matrix is up there too, actually, with that.
Yeah, true.
Probably, yeah. But this has, I don't know, like 4 or 5 different iconic images and different one-liners that get repeated a lot. I mean, it's just kind of crazy.
I feel like it kind of flies under the radar a little bit from like a Arnold perspective. Like, I think if you went up to everyone on the street and said, name an Arnold movie, like you'd get some, but I feel like the majority of people would say Terminator. And then maybe some, like some other Arnold movies.
I mean,
True Lies, which was
True Lies
the
would
second
go
one
up
we
there.
did.
Yep.
And when I was watching this, I kept feeling like this is not like that much of an Arnold movie.
No.
Like,
I
it's
straight up did not know this was not a Schwarzenegger movie.
He's good.
Like,
He is.
I
He's so
did
good.
He's
not
doing the
know.
Arnold thing.
He looks incredible in this movie. And I don't even mean from like a I'm attracted to Arnold Schwarzenegger in the 80s standpoint.
Literally, the general says you look good when you say it.
It's just like, yeah, I mean, that guy, like, in a tank top holding a big gun, crouching through the jungle. You're like, oh, yeah, movies.
Yep, movies.
Hell yeah.
also Carl Weathers looking like
God,
a
yeah.
fucking piece in this.
Yeah.
He said he would get up and he wouldn't work out till everyone else left, so they thought he wasn't working out and he just looked like that. Just to fuck with the other actors, I guess.
There was also a famous story where Jesse Ventura was told that he had bigger, like by the tailor, that he had bigger arms than Arnold, and he started puffing his chest out and bragging about it. And then it turned out that Arnold had just told the tailor to lie to him. And then they're like, I don't know if they like bet money on it or they did some kind of competition, and Arnold just absolutely smoked him.
Yeah. It's really got like 32-inch pythons,
Yeah.
right? It's, all these tall, big, beefy boys.
Yep. And Shane Black.
And Shane Black, who has to die first because he's not beefy.
Yep.
I mean, they're very tall and large, and it makes sense that they eventually had to fire Jean-Claude Van Damme,
Yep.
who was originally in the Predator suit. And have you seen the pictures of the version of the suit that he was using?
No.
It looks like
No.
shit.
He wasn't even credited for it.
No, because he's not. They ended up going with a 7'2" guy.
Mhm.
Yep.
So it didn't look weird when like Arnold squares up with the Predator at the end. You don't want the guy to be almost, 7 inches shorter than him or whatever.
Yeah.
So they instead hired a 7'2" guy and they made the thing look all different. And yeah, it's I think it's Stan Winston, who we talked about recently with Aliens. Stan Winston was on a plane with James Cameron when he was designing the Predator, and James Cameron was like, throw some mandibles in there, and that's why it has mandibles. So thanks, James Cameron. Yeah, it was almost Rick Baker, Gremlins, and a bunch of other stuff, but instead it was Stan Winston, who is the other guy people know from practical effects. Anyway, it's not Jean-Claude Van Damme. It's some 7'2" guy. Terrible conditions that they filmed this movie in Mexico. Freezing cold water. It was really cold every night. They're actually out in the jungle, so it's terrible terrain. They're lugging all their equipment around. Sounds like a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. I was actually thinking that when they were like filming, like, okay, here's
They're
like
really out there.
here's somebody crouching through a jungle, and like there was a point where I was like looking at paths and stuff and just being like, there's not a lot of room to walk around here. Like, you had to just stop and think that this is, unless they cleared trees out next to it, like this has got to have been fucking miserable.
Yeah. I think it was.
Yep.
Apparently there's like leeches all over the place and
I'm
stuff.
sure.
You don't really see a lot of animals in this movie,
No.
which is what makes it feel like not that jungly.
You see like one badger?
Yeah.
Oh, they kill
There's
a
like
pig. He kills a
skunk or
pig,
something.
too.
There's
Oh
a-
yeah.
There's the
pig.
scorpion.
Oh, yeah.
true.
But that's kind of it.
Right.
But it's, the even more that feeling of isolation, I guess, that gets built up over the movie. Let's talk about the actual plot of it. So Arnold is flown in because Carl Weathers says somebody lied and said you're the best because they're old friends. And they lock arms and make a meme
And they make a meme.
that outlasts this movie, and people probably recognize that and not realize it's from this movie a lot of times.
I might not even.
Did not know from this movie.
If people even watch the movie, they might not even realize because the actual meme's been desaturated and
Yeah.
stuff so
Yeah.
much. That,
Yeah, it's so deep fried.
yeah.
Deep fried, yep.
It's also at the beginning of the movie, so people could
Right.
miss that from just.
I
starting
literally
late.
Getting there
Bree
late,
by-
or you're still getting your popcorn.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Bree, by chance, I think you're looking at your phone or something for like that brief moment, and I
that
literally just
second.
look
It's the
Look
meme.
at it.
Leo meme.
because I didn't know where it was in the movie, but I knew it was in the movie, and I figured it was early.
It's one of the first
but-
like 4 or 5 dialogue lines.
Yeah.
And it's the one of the most iconic lines in there. The Dylan, you son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch. Yeah. And the opening credits go on for a while, so I think that is one of the first lines because it's
Yeah.
not until he gets in. And yeah, it's just action movie stuff. Everyone's just their last name
Yep.
or a nickname.
Carl Weathers is in a shitty bar with one fan.
Yeah.
When they get out of the helicopter, they instead of carrying their bags out, they throw their bags out, and then
You
they pick it
gotta
up when they
throw
go
'em.
outside.
You gotta throw them.
Yeah.
Do they talk about why Arnold's nickname was Dutch? I don't think they do, right?
No.
I just assumed it was his first name or that he was Dutch.
Or yeah, or like they thought he was Dutch. He's like, I'm actually Austrian, and they were like, no, it's still not
No, it's
Arnold.
Dutch now.
Yeah, because his first name is
This is
Alan.
good. As,
Alan Dutch.
as always, it's better in an Arnold movie where they don't explain where this guy came from.
Yep.
Yeah.
He just always has been. He was never a child.
Yeah,
he was just
he was never a child. He's always been American. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And yeah, they pretty much get right to it. Carl Weathers, you later find out, is lying to him, and there's like the council minister or something, some ambassador type is out in the bush, and they got to go get him. And they make a point really early on that Arnold's team does rescues. They're not assassins. So Carl Weathers, you later find out, is basically tricking him. It's a CIA operative that's out there in the wilderness, and they go after him. And the build to them being the ones that are being hunted starts pretty much right away because stuff's all fucked up. They find Hopper pretty quickly.
I think it's Hopper because I remember.
Hopper.
I thought it was
Oh.
Hopper because I kept thinking it was the Stranger Things.
Yeah,
I was like, how do
same.
they know the
Oh yeah,
Stranger
it was
Things
literally
guy?
Jim Hopper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did skip over the helicopter ride to their location too.
Oh yes, when it's doing the
Introducing everyone.
Right.
introducing everyone.
Someone dropped a hard F.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes, they do.
Jesse the Body
It's
Ventura.
just it's right.
And
It's
he does
Jesse
deliver
Ventura.
a really great line after that of the sexual tyrannosaurus.
yeah.
Oh god, that was so
Yeah.
weird.
He's just offering people performance enhancing drugs.
Yep.
Because why would they need him out there? I don't know. Yeah. Shane Black makes his first of a few off-color jokes.
Yep. Billy
Dukes?
doesn't laugh at it.
No, Bill Duke's there too. He's cool.
Yep. He's shaving.
Yeah, he's shaving a lot. I don't know the other actors that
Bradshaw.
well, but the guy's playing Poncho, and which is a nickname. And the
We
guy-
hope.
No, it is. It's in quotes on the Wikipedia page. No, it makes it that much better. And Billy, who I guess is just Billy. Is that a nickname for William? I never answered my own
Got him.
question. I like Billy. He's cool.
Billy's cool.
I like that he immediately clocks that there's a predator out
Yeah.
there.
Yep.
He can't put his finger on what it is yet, but he knows right away.
Yep.
Future Republican governor, or try to be governor.
There are 2 governors in this movie.
Yeah, and
There are
he's a
2
wannabe
governors.
governor.
There's only a
There are
wannabe. Wait, there's a wannabe governor.
Billy's the one, like the actor in like 2003 ran for some.
Oh,
seat.
really?
Yeah,
He probably just
he
figured,
lost.
like, I mean, statistically, there's a good chance that
Yeah.
since I was in Predator, I can be a governor. And then, yeah, they find Hopper pretty quickly. It's the bodies that are hanging in the vulture nest, basically.
all
And
skinned.
All skinned. It's fucked up.
Dripping
It's
blood.
inhuman.
Yep.
And of course, Arnold's immediately like, "Oh, okay, so this isn't like a normal thing. You clearly lied to us." And Carl Weathers is like, "I don't know what's going on," but you know he's lying. And yeah, they're tracking the gorillas, and they eventually find them. They blow up all their shit.
Yeah.
Well, one of them speaks Russian once, so you
Yeah,
know.
and then they're like, "Okay, these guys were obviously not
something
South
hinky's
American."
going on.
They say like, there's CIA guys out here. There's Russians.
Yeah, they do shoot a guy in the head that they're interrogating. So
Yeah.
They're probably bad news. So you're not supposed
Yeah,
to
no.
feel bad when they die.
you're not supposed to feel bad, but they like super kill him though.
Yeah.
And it's setting up these guys to have like, I guess, one moment of being like the victorious heroes in the action movie because they don't get to be again really
Yep.
for the rest of the, unless except Arnold for the rest of the
But
movie.
they leave the one woman alive.
Yeah.
Anna.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Well, he hit her with a gun. He felt
Yep.
bad about it. Carl Weathers insists they bring her along and they don't want to. Oh, I had a good note. I wrote that they stealthily are killing everyone in the camp, setting up for them to be stealthily killed later. And they're attacking the gorilla camp, and the gorillas ain't happy and are not feeling glad. Just needed to get that in there. And yeah, Jesse Ventura says he ain't got time to bleed.
Yep.
Every line he delivers, he's like, this is going to be on a t-shirt.
Yep.
But makes sense. That's what he did for, that's why he's famous.
Yeah, and this was what? This is linking up with around right around WrestleMania time era. So he would have been a commentator in wrestling
Yeah.
right now.
Same year as Running Man, also, I
Yep.
think. Yeah. I thought you'd know.
No,
I'm
sorry.
I didn't mean to put you
Not
on the
all of
spot. Yeah. Yeah, so now we're doing it. We're doing it. After the gorilla fight, you see the Predator vision again. Not for the
Watching
first
them
time.
too, actually.
Yeah, he's watching them. Not for the first time. You see the vision, the thermal or whatever.
Mhm.
No, it's not.
It's like the
technically
heat sense,
thermal.
yeah.
Yeah. And that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't have much to say about that, but it works. Whatever. It's really hard to tell what he's looking at
Yeah.
in this movie, but it's fine.
It does not come out clearly.
It's funny
It's
that
just cool though.
yeah, I was gonna say so Terminator comes out and they have I wouldn't say similar, but it
There's
evokes
an interface.
yeah. And you know exactly what's going on, and it's actually pointing out things specifically. And the Predator's like, I don't know, man. There's a red blob over there. Probably should go check that out.
It's actively hindering him.
Yep.
He just needs glasses.
Well, actually, when he takes his helmet off, we see his vision again is just red.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right, yeah. So it was helping.
Yeah.
The Predator vision with the helmet thing is kind of how helicopters find like escapees though, is the heat sensor.
Sure.
Mhm.
That
So
makes
he's
sense.
like a helicopter.
Kind of.
There's a lot of talk about and I just have to ask if you talk about a helicopter again to call it a Chapo. This happens.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
That's all. Yeah, so they oh god. Before they get there is when Bill Duke says it's time to get old Painless out the bag
Yep.
to Jesse
The
Ventura.
name of the gun is Old Painless.
And he says, it's payback time. Just to get that in there, too. He dies relatively early, so we should mention every one-liner, Jesse Ventura.
Yeah. But not the F slur. He's
No,
No,
not that particular one.
But
no.
the line after that.
Yeah.
After they clear out, they go out into what they refer to as the badass bush. And the Predator comes down and he looks at the Scorpion as
Yep.
it turns black because it died.
It died.
Yep. Good stuff.
I feel bad for that Scorpion because they probably killed the Scorpion to make that scene.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably. It's the
Rip
80s.
Rip Scorpion 85 to 86 maybe. I don't know the lifespan of Scorpion. Also, they filmed it, so bump that back a year.
How many times do they have to kill Scorpion, though?
Oh God.
Scorpions are dicks though.
That's right. I'm glad Tiny Spielberg put them all in a tiny tin box.
That's a callback.
Call back to the Fablemans episode. And if that sounded good, you've got 2 hours of Fablemans episode to listen to. Get ready. This girl, who they don't ask her name for, who they don't ask her name of, whatever grammar is there, for another hour in the movie, she is not happy to be going with them.
No.
Billy is once again just about noticing what's going on, but not quite putting his finger on it. And then Shane Black gets super killed.
Super killed.
It's great.
I do like the line of what's his character's? I can't remember his character's
Hawkins?
name. Hawkins. Like, is it Hawkins? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, and that's the guy who I like. Oh, I don't know that actor really who plays the guy who finds his body. Poncho, yeah. But I think he's really good. He's the one who's like him and Bill Duke, I guess, most embodying the sort of going crazy aspect of it. But Bill Duke's going like violent crazy, and he's going more like really super scared crazy.
How does... Oh, we'll get to it later. I
Yeah.
couldn't remember how Pancho dies.
He gets hit in the chest with the
Yeah, but he
log.
survives. That.
Then
He's
when
just-
Arnold's carrying him, the predator
Oh,
shoots him like in the
Yep,
neck,
yep,
Yeah.
That's
yep.
right.
and then he shoots Arnold, but only hits him in the shoulder.
Yep.
And that's well, we can't say it yet, but that Arnold says a line there
So we'll save later.
to Anna.
That's
We
a
don't-
tease for
We don't
later.
even know her name's Anna yet. But yeah, Shane Black gets very killed. I wrote that the CGI here looks goofy, but I like it. And it's also not. It's the way that they're filming it with. Okay, so the active camo thing.
Yep.
They film it one way with a lens, and then there's all the actors in it. And when the predator's there, it's someone in a big red suit because red was the most different from the blue sky and the green of the jungle.
I don't know.
So there's just a person wearing like a big red suit that's the height of what the predator would be.
I find the special effects charming. In
Yeah,
this.
I was gonna say I think
There's
they're charming.
kind of charm to it.
It does have that like deliberate, like, okay, we're gonna cut to the special effects scene where the camera is completely still and he's just
Yeah.
kind of like dancing around or whatever.
And then they would film it again with a wider angle lens, the same take but without any of the actors in there, and then they composite that. And so using the wider angle lens and just compositing the part on top of where the person in the red suit was would make it look like the edges were bending to get like the active camo look.
That's good.
Yeah,
Probably took a
because
while.
we call it CGI because that's just the default for special effects now, but it's not. It's not computer generated.
Yep.
It's like
It was-
practical effects.
Yeah, they actually filmed that. So, and then they just put the film on top of each other. Yeah. Jesse Ventura dies pretty much right after that.
Yeah, he gets his chest exploded
Yeah.
Very exploded.
by a thing that is not natural, or not of this world. or whatever.
Now is the first time you see the actual light coming down and the projectile. One thing I like is that every time the predator attacks, he has like a new thing.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, this guy's got all the gizmos.
he's all the gizmos
Gadgets
and,
aplenty.
and he's using them in different scenarios when they're applicable.
Yes.
Also, after Jesse Ventura dies, Will Duke, Mac, starts shooting the shit out of the forest.
Yes.
Yep. And
With
then,
old painless.
then everyone runs over and you think they're going to be like, hey, cool. And everyone else is
No,
like,
they
yes.
just join in. We'll get him.
He'll get him.
Billy mentions earlier when they find Hopper's body that like, oh, it doesn't make any sense. They were firing in every direction just out into the, the wilderness. And then you're like, oh, okay. This thing happened to them too.
Yep.
And everyone's just firing their guns. I like the end of that where Mac is still like the
Shooting,
gun's
yep.
still
Spinning,
revolving,
yep.
even though it's been out for a while. Just good stuff.
Did anyone else get like a feeling that Mac had a bit more feelings than just friendship for Blaine? That's Jesse Ventura.
Maybe.
You really
Um,
liked him. When
yeah.
Yeah.
later on, when not that much later on, I guess, when Arnold's Dutch says, I'm sorry.
God, why does he nail it? I can't get it.
You got to do it casually. There's a moment where Bill Duke responds like, I think he says like he was a good man, and Bill Duke responds, he was my friend, and he kind of hesitates before he says my
Yeah.
friend. And I think if you're really stretching, you can read something into that if you really, really want to.
Well, later at night too, he's like having this like
Yeah, he's with
this
them.
monologue about like it was me and you, Blaine.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is these guys don't have families. This is what they do, and like these are the guys like those were probably like the main dude for each other.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like it's kind of nice. They're not very similar personalities at all.
No.
These characters, but just like they've probably been through like some of the most traumatic shit together.
They were in like the Vietnam War, I think I saw that. They're all like Vietnam War vets.
makes sense. That's a close.
Yeah, it makes sense. I was thinking before when we were saying like on the helicopter on the way in where you're meeting everyone, it's helicopters over the jungle and they're playing rock music. It's like, oh, okay. We're doing Vietnam.
They might as well just done CCR just for the
Right, yeah, exactly.
But we can't afford it enough where we can open the doors, so everyone has to be in here.
Right,
Right?
yeah. We only have this helicopter for 1 hour. You guys are on a set. We can only fit one camera in there, and he's just going to point it out this front. I do like that they're not just dumb. I feel like I think, and not just because of like the Alien versus Predator movies, but I feel like the closest analog is Aliens.
Yeah.
But But there are people in the aliens colonial marine squad that are just stupid. Kinda.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Whereas these guys are all like, oh, they're really good at what they do. They just the people who die earliest had the least amount of information,
Mhm.
and they are trying to learn and adapt as they're going. And I like that they're, responding practically to what's happening a lot of times.
Yeah.
Because after Jesse dies, they set up the whole.
Yeah. They set up the perimeter, and it does, they think, seem to work. That night, the flares go off, and Mac gets attacked, and turns out it was just a large pig who did a diving leap onto him, which in Mac's defense would freak me out too. They run back, and they're like, oh no one's guarding the girl. And it's like, she didn't go anywhere.
But someone took Blaine's body.
Yes, which freaks them out. Because they're like, oh my God, he got through all of our tripwires and carried out a body.
A very thing to do.
It is a very thing to do.
Also, very low chance any of these guys seen the thing.
Yeah, true. They
Yeah,
would have had
they
a very
would've gone.
small window to watch.
Yeah.
the thing.
I mean, it bombed.
It
Yeah,
bombed.
too.
And
They
so
were
no one
probably
would have
out
been
on
like,
tour
is there
or
a
something.
thing after us?
Shane Black probably saw it.
Oh, definitely.
But he was dead by that point.
Yeah.
So.
He was cute, and he could have been like, it's a thing situation.
Everybody put your blood into a petri dish.
And that wouldn't have helped either. It would have just wasted time.
Yeah.
A lot of wasted blood.
Of course, Shane Black knows all of this.
Yep.
I mean, they would have been fine if they put their guns down.
Yeah, but before the nighttime falls, before night falls, or before nighttime, I should have gone with one or the other. You see the predator like stitching itself up,
Mhm.
and you just see like its leg and its arm, and then very briefly it pulls out, and you see its whole body.
And then it screams.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, it injects himself with some sort of
Yeah.
Cortisone shot.
Steroids.
Space cortisone, please.
Oh, EpiPen. That was it.
Yeah.
He was having an allergic reaction to Earth.
He got Shane Black's like sense of humor on him, and he was like, "Oh, I gotta purge this."
That's why he's wearing the mask. This is for his asthma.
Yeah, and before night happens, whatever. It doesn't have to be perfectly in order. I just like the moment where I think it's Poncho's like, Billy knows what's happening. Billy knows something. Tell us, or maybe it's Mac that says that to him, and Billy's just like, there's something after us, and whatever it is, it ain't human. Essentially, like there ain't no man out there. And they're like, Billy's just scared. And it's like, Billy doesn't look scared. He looks very sober about what's happening.
And it's also interesting, like from their perspective, you got people who are experts in their field. Like I've talked before, it's like how many crazy predictions can somebody make before they prove to you that they're like that there's something sci-fi going on in real life. Like if in your real life where you're not watching a movie, someone comes up to you and it's like, there's a Freaky Friday situation, or or I had time travel. And like how many things would they have to like nail in a row for you to be like,
All right.
okay, I guess I'm buying into this.
Right.
So like it's interesting, like because he's just it's almost like a poker game where like Billy's looking at it, he's putting everything together, and he's just like, there's got to be an alien or something, or like some kind of CIA doohickey, like because there ain't nothing out. Yeah, it's the same
It's
thing.
like there ain't no man out there, and it's gonna kill us all.
Yeah, which I feel like at that point feels earned. It's just like
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is the line. He's not afraid of no man or something like that because it's not a man.
Oh yeah, she was invoking
right.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
Yes.
I am no man.
Which was a great thing when she's like, "Oh, what's that?" Like the line, I don't know what movie it's from. It's this, and I'm like, "It's from Lord of the Rings, the most famous movie series of all time."
That I haven't seen.
Oh, that old movie.
We already did him. Like, I can't even use that.
Oh, I'll never see him.
Tough break.
So the next morning after they take Blaine's body, well, not even the next morning, right after they take Blaine's body, they're like, why didn't it kill us? Why did it just take the body and leave? And they're like, oh, it's a hunter. It's taking... And then the next day, Arnold like confronts the girl and he's like, what did you see? And she explains it's like a chameleon. And
Oh, also, surprise, she can speak English.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah, like she could speak English the whole time. She was just doing a bit.
It was funny when she said something in Spanish, and there's like a thing where Pancho's like, "Oh, she's saying this." I think Carl Weathers is like, "That's not what she said." And it was funny because right when Carl Weathers said that's not what she said, I'm pretty sure you said something extremely similar, like she didn't say that.
Yeah, and well, it's a good foreshadowing too. He's like, it's not what she said, but what she said doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
And you later, I guess, hear essentially what she was talking about, like the demon who makes men into trophies or whatever.
Yeah.
She does say later on. She does say that the it was the jungle coming alive again.
Yeah.
or something like that. The
Okay.
second time,
Which
but-
makes sense for what you would see
Well, yeah,
in that situation.
because you can kind of see like the camouflage moving a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Well,
we
we
go.
know we're watching a
as-
movie.
Yeah,
Because-
and we go in as an informed viewer
Yeah.
that
Right.
gets to see the
yeah,
whole thing
so
happen.
we're
and
good
not
because
just,
we
Yeah.
believe women.
It was
Yeah.
like a split second from her peripheral vision
Right.
of this thing happening.
yeah, it's not an invisible force, but there's definitely something there.
Yeah.
Would have been great if she was like, it's a lost smoke monster situation.
Yes. Well,
We don't
it's-
watch a lot of television.
Yeah.
Sorry, lady.
Yeah. And notably, this conversation ends with her mentioning that it bled, that she saw its blood before. And then Arnold says something, but no one really remembers this part.
If it bleeds, it leads, I think he
Yeah.
says.
If it bleeds, it leads. Print it. It is a great.
And the rest of the squad's going, what does that mean? Why do you walk away after saying that? How does that apply to us? Yeah.
Is he talking about his newsletter that he does outside of like
Predator probably did a blade job.
he's dead already.
And he says if it bleeds, we can kill it. Woo!
Which is also just a true thing, which is cool. It's both a great line
Yeah.
and like
It's a really good line.
Well, he's demystifying it because like you just had Billy be like, "Oh no, guys, this thing's definitely going to kill all of us, and it's not a human."
yep.
Mhm.
He's like, "Well, it still bleeds though."
I mean, it
it's,
made
uh,
Hawkins into nothing.
Yep.
And then it put a big hole into Blaine.
And she
It's
hasn't-
kind of scary.
And she didn't tell them this, but its blood is glow stick juice mixed with lube. So that's
I do think I made a joke that that humans did discover predators and we just used them for glow sticks, and that's what's kept in Area 52 specifically.
makes sense.
Yep.
This part's great. The lesser movie wouldn't have had this. The original pitch of it was it was a squad of hunters, and they did down to just like one soldier and one hunter. And then Arnold was like, "That's kind of dumb. There needs to be a squad. I need to get like whittled down." But like the squad aspect was really important to him, and he was right because it's good.
Yep.
Mhm.
This is the part where they're all working together to like make the traps and pull down the branches. And,
Yep.
All the Boy Scout shit.
yeah, all the Boy Scout shit that Carl Weathers puts down. But like it works. And Arnold like really smartly is like, well, it saw all our tripwires. Maybe it can't see this stuff. And he's right. It has terrible vision. Very bad
Imagine a
vision for a
predator
hunter.
with bad vision.
Terrible vision. But somehow
Blind,
worse.
right?
Yep.
Predators are blind.
I mean,
That's
just
why.
judging by like what they see.
Yeah.
If they don't have their heat vision on, it's just red.
Right? Yeah.
And it doesn't seem great.
Ugh.
How did they build that technology?
You know, it just proves
A lot
how
of trial and
good it
error.
is.
Yeah. Their planet was all just black. So.
That is a good point, though. It might be like specifically on their planet, like they don't need all that stuff,
Oh,
but
yeah.
when they travel, like they might need to adapt to different planets.
That totally makes sense because, especially because they see in red,
Yeah.
and in the '80s, that was like, I'm thinking of what's the Nintendo headset from like the '80s?
Virtual Boy.
Mm.
That's all red, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe on their planet that red transfers to 3D.
I wonder how this movie is for people with like certain
Colorblind?
kinds. Yeah, so there's certain color blindness, like red green color blindness.
I don't know. That's a good question, but we don't do
But
any
yeah, we
prior
don't know.
research.
No one
Yeah.
here is. Yeah.
We never do research.
I'll go tweet at
I
people.
mean, they probably just see the heat sensing thing as like brown.
Yeah.
But yeah, so do you really think this Boy Scout shit's gonna work? Then Anna tells them the story about how this is just a thing that happens around here. Like, oh shit, that sucks.
Why did that guerrilla group put their base there?
They should have known. So yeah, it's a thing that happens here when it gets hot. It's like, oh my god, go somewhere for the summer then.
Yeah. It's a real quarry situation.
Right, it's a quarry situation. Just don't be there.
Just leave.
Just leave. You'll be fine. Yeah. So this is now where they briefly catch him in the trap net, but I like how it's just like leaves in the form of a body that gets
Yep.
pulled up into the net. But he shoots his way out,
Mhm.
and then there's some firefight. Bill Duke thinks he's got him, and he like runs off after him. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
This is where-
Yep.
And then Carl Weathers runs off after him.
Because they both got a score to settle with the predator.
And you're not going to believe this, but the rest of the group never sees those guys again.
No.
No,
They do hear from one of them.
No.
they hear from both. No, just one of them.
No, just
actually,
one.
yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a pretty long sequence of just the two of them out there.
Yeah.
And
They
there's
try sorry. I was gonna say they do the like what's that monster
Pincer.
called?
Oh.
The Wendigo.
The Wendigo
In
fake
Until
out because
Dawn.
he can like recreate sounds.
Yep.
And I thought I didn't think that would be a fake
That
out. I
doesn't
thought
super get paid off. So like obviously,
No, yeah, I
and,
thought it
and,
was gonna
and,
be-
and spoiler for the end, I guess.
It doesn't
but,
get paid off.
It gets paid off at the end, but not in a way of. So like it's interesting. So just to explain
He
for
doesn't
the
use it to
listener,
trick 'em.
yeah. So like the Predator has an ability where they can they imitate. Well, basically imitates exactly the person's sounds. And like Bree said, from Until Dawn, that is what a monster does in that game as well.
We talked about D&D earlier. He's a kenku.
Yeah, there you go.
Also, I feel like he more records the sounds and then he's able to isolate it. So it's
True, yeah.
Or
He's not
record,
mimicking
yeah,
the
yeah.
sound in his mouth. That's true. But yeah, so Carl Weathers in this scene is distracted by the sound of a pitch perfect imitation of Bill
Mac.
Dukes' character, Mac, and it is stuff that has been recorded earlier in the movie. They do have him recording it, so you can hear him kind of manipulating it, and so then he's utilizing it. It doesn't actually it tricks Carl Weathers, but Mac actually finds him first,
Yeah.
and gets his attention so that he knows it's not a trick completely. But then it does, yeah, it's not used to kill Carl Weathers or anybody else. It is only used at the end, which we'll get to. But
Yeah.
I was kind of interested that they didn't
yeah,
pay that
no
off
one
with a
got caught
kill.
out by that ability,
Yeah.
which I was hoping that would happen because that would have been a cool kill.
Yeah. But Mac goes around the front. Carl Weathers tries to go around the back, but unsuccessful. This is the first time I think you see the 3 dots
yeah.
Mhm.
on Bill Duke when Mac gets it.
Yep.
He gets his head just straight up exploded. It's
Yeah.
not
yeah.
good.
I mean, we see his skull later.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes, we do. And oh yeah, that's the one with the hole in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. And then Carl Weathers tries to shoot it, and it has that great like suspension of disbelief moment where it's like a rule of cool thing.
Yeah.
Where his arm gets shot
Yeah,
off, but it's
yeah.
still gripping the trigger.
Yeah.
So he's just like yelling without his arm, and it's on the ground shooting
Yep.
still.
Which, if you're Arnold and the rest of the gang hearing that, that's not great.
No.
Nope.
Really brings morale down.
Really brings morale down. That's why Billy does what he does shortly. I like and again, like this, the special effects are what they are. It's an 80s movie, but I like, I think you said, I think charming.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I like when it's sprinting up the hill towards him
I do too.
and he tries to turn and shoot it and he doesn't get it in time. And now it like extends the claw as it's running and then gets his ass. He screams super loud. They hear him. And as they're crossing a bridge, Billy's like, all right.
I'm staying behind.
Then
He
Ivan Drago says if he dies, he dies.
Yeah. So what's Billy's aim here?
I think
Uh,
I'm just fucking done with this shit. I'm gonna kill. Oh, yeah,
Warrior's death. I'm not.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I am sick of running. I am sick of being scared. I am sick of thinking I'm just gonna get picked off. Like
Yeah.
if he's gonna kill me.
'Cause at first he throws his gun away, and you're like, oh, maybe he's
He's-
trying to
Like a fisticuffs, like we're gonna
Yeah.
I can
go down.
I can
this-
get him 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he's of honor, I guess.
Or
Yeah.
for like a split second, I'm like, oh, they know if they've already said Arnold's already said to Anna, like, oh, you're not armed, so that's why he's not attacking you. It's like, oh, maybe Billy's just trying to be like, ooh, I don't have any weapons.
Yeah, like he's gonna throw his weapons down and just kind of like kneel and like know that he'll probably just jump over him or something.
Yeah.
Going.
But no, that's not what he does.
No.
He takes his shirt off, cuts himself a little bit, and then just holds a machete and just like stares in the direction that he knows it'll be coming from.
So like my thought is that he's probably tried to fight it, even though we don't see. the
I was
fight.
hoping we were gonna see at least a little bit of the fight, but it looks like he just murks him immediately
Well, I
and then
think
keeps
that- I
going.
think that's supposed to be the point
Yeah.
is like that the Predator is just too good for like a one-on-one fight.
yeah,
And
but he fights with Arnold at the end, so like I
but
would
Arnold,
think.
but Arnold gets his ass kicked
and,
one-on-one.
and, and that's the final fight too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Like in rule of movie, I get that. But
I think for this one it was more like, oh, so far Billy's been nothing but a badass, like the coolest guy here, and then he just dies and we don't even see it. We just
Well,
hear
we
him
don't see it.
scream.
Squash match.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be funny if like he's in the chopper at the end of the movie and Arnold's like, what happened? He's like, oh, I never even saw him. I fell off. I fell off the bridge. Yeah.
I was really grossed out by the fact
Yeah,
that
I
I
broke
cut
my arm.
myself.
It sucked.
Yeah,
but-
broke my arm. Fucking sucked. There's all water down there,
It's
though,
just-
so I broke my fall. It was
Just
fine.
fucking Jurassic Park 3. Like, what happened to you? Oh, this the pterodactyls just flew off with me. It was a whole thing.
Don't worry about
Don't worry
it.
though, I'm okay. I just got some bandages on and some slings.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Best part of Jurassic Park 3.
No.
So Billy
It's
dies.
the Alan part.
Just like in Jurassic Park 3.
So Billy dies, and it's not that far behind where they were, so it's not even like he really bought them time. So they're immediately like, okay, we're just going to stand here because this guy's probably right on top of us already. And he is. This is, I forget the exact order, but essentially he kills Poncho here.
Yeah.
And he shoots Arnold.
Yep.
Arnold falls on the ground, and now we all get to say, get to the chopper.
chopper.
That's when Arnold yells at Anna, and she doesn't have any lines for the rest of the movie, but we do see she's in the chopper later.
Yeah, she does
Listen.
I do think it's funny that she goes there and they're like, "Are you the girl?"
Well, Carl Weathers called it in. She's like, I have one hostage, and they're like, "Are you the hostage?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Yeah, that's me."
Alone.
Don't worry
Classic
about them.
hostage.
They,
You know,
they don't really wait because they're already like up in the air by
the
the
touch
time
guy
they're
yelled like, "Oh!" and then I'm here.
Yep. And now we are one-on-one for the rest of the movie. But the great moment, not just one of them, but I love Arnold is being chased by this thing. He's wounded. He's in the shoulder. He's running through the woods. You can see in its predator vision, it's catching up to him. And then he falls down a natural slide, goes flying into the water.
Yep.
And it's not like a cool flying into the water either. They don't give him a lot of dignity, which I love.
Can't be cool all the time.
Very the Batman eat shit.
Yeah, very much. Yes. He's like in the mud, which will be very important in a couple seconds, but he just like collapses and he's like, oh, a moment of rest. And then there's a great moment where the splash behind him and you're like, oh, the predator's there.
Yep.
It just Cloverfielded into the fucking ocean. And it's like, it's briefly Jaws, the Alan Silvestri music's going, and it's got like that bass kick in, and you just see like the bubbles.
Yep.
And then this thing gets out of the water, and its active camouflage isn't working, so you really see it in full for a while here. Looks good. What do we think about the Predator in this one? It's probably like the best looking Predator in movies. It's really good.
Yep.
Yep. It's probably one of my favorite monster designs for these classic movies.
Yeah. I think both the helmet on version and without I like a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does, like, it just evokes perfectly what it doesn't look too like. It doesn't look like it's like all id. Like there is intelligence and choice going into that design. Whereas like, I mean, it is obviously later like perfectly balanced with Alien, like where it's like very much like this is a race of basically animals that are killing people, and I am a very smart man.
And it pulls off dreads pretty well.
Yeah. The dreads with the mask works really well.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
I like how it was open his mouth.
Yeah, so you actually without the mask is interesting. I know it sets up the "You're one ugly motherfucker" line.
Oh, ugly motherfucker.
We did forget the other line that Arnold does. What was it? Stick around, where he throws the
yeah.
knife at the guy.
Oh, that was
With the
Yeah.
fake
in the
into
gorilla
Well, that was-
camp.
That was all part of just the like, oh, these guys are the coolest and best at this. Stick around. And then he opens the door and he says like knock knock or something.
Yeah.
Like,
I said to her when he said knock knock, I was like, it was nice that they all sat there and waited for a punchline before.
what's he gonna say? Oh fuck, he's directed at us. He's not happy to see us. But yeah, the mud thing is cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
Arnold in like the roots of the tree covered in mud just looks really good.
Yeah.
Also, like if I was there, if I was a predator with my normal vision, I don't know if I would have saw Arnold. Like he blends in pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame the Predator at all here.
Yeah, no, he gets a pass.
Can't blame
Should
the
he
Predator.
should he have had to close his eyes or are eyes cold?
I am pretty sure eyes are cold.
Are eyes colds? That's what we need to decipher.
I vote yes for eyes cold.
Let's all touch our eyes, right?
Eyes
now.
are cold. Listen, I trust the Predator. He had no,
It's a real botch job by the Predator. if we're gonna be
Yeah, why
honest.
didn't he just see their eyes?
Yeah.
They could see his eyes a bunch of times. You'd think that would get paid off in some way. But no.
What a big idiot the Predator is. He's right there. Come on, man.
Thought he was going to have to like fashion some mud
Game
glasses.
Game 7. Just finish the job.
Yeah, just finish the job. Come on now.
It'd be great. I'm just thinking about like if it was like the Predator planet watches this like the Hunger Games, and they're like they're showing like here's a tried and true just chest explosion by the Predator here. Like Jesse the Body Ventura doesn't even see it coming, walks right into it, bang! Just what a great job by the Predator.
Great job, Predator. Yeah,
And great escape.
Yep.
After all those bullets.
Yeah.
There's a moment here where you're seeing the shoulder mounted gun that's like reacting with the triangle vision. You're seeing the triangle vision in the Predator vision. And yeah, all of his gadgets are good.
Yeah.
They're all good. And it's like you said, it's not just monster animal. But this is an intelligent hunter who is here doing something for sports. They don't ever answer, is this some kind of ritual or is this like vacation for them?
There is the line that's like it's not sporting or whatever because you didn't have a weapon.
Right, yeah.
And we do see him with the skulls too, so he has some trophies.
It does seem very much
He's getting trophies.
It's probably for sport, but like they still want like the respect of like or like the challenge of them having because that's why I never understood people like that like hunting. It's like these animals can't do anything to defend themselves, but I guess if you're hunting people and they have weapons, that could be fun.
Yeah, we all got there. But no, I mean, yeah, you're totally right. It's something probably of a point of pride that like, I came home with 7 skulls or whatever.
How many you got, Bob? I got 3.
Oh, I got 3 skulls. Oh, look at Bob over here, only with 3 skulls.
Check out Mac's head. It's got a big hole in it where I shot him.
Do you have one of those, Bob?
No.
Probably just shooting the giant laser to the chest like an idiot.
You want to hear this guy say anytime?
You want to hear this guy do a very off-color joke? I got that one.
Yeah, I know it's smaller, but he made the worst jokes.
Actually, it would be so good if it's that same Carl Weathers wandering through the jungle, and it's just Shane Black making like, "Hey, I was going down on my wife the other day," and Carl Weathers is like, "What?"
Like, I saw that guy's intestines. I know that's not real.
Hawkins, where are you?
But there's a lengthy scene now of really both Arnold and Predator gearing up for a final confrontation, which is really good. See, Arnold's keeping himself muddy. He's fashioning all kinds of non-mechanical weapons and traps and spikes that can fall and a big log that can fall on someone's head later, maybe.
And then he... with just his arms himself, he can create a bow.
Yeah, he makes a bow, which is dope. I don't know if you can do. Is that a one-person job? It seems like it shouldn't be.
I don't know if one person
for Arnold, probably
not without like a.
You need like pressure,
like a winch or something. You know, he just does it with his hands.
Yep.
Crazy.
Old winch hands.
Old winch hands. Time to let old winch hands out the bag. And here comes Arnold. And then there's a shot where it seems... Wait, hold on. Sorry. Then he does like the most badass thing, which I actually didn't remember happening, where he just stands on a cliff, holds a torch out, and screams really loud.
Yeah.
Like badass. Then he throws the torch onto the bonfire, and he gets into position. He's got different perches he's made that he can Tarzan swing between. It's pretty cool. He waits for the Predator to come, and come it does. And for a moment, it looks like it's daytime, and then it's nighttime again.
We were joking that when he threw the fire down that he started an actual forest fire. Like Smokey the Bear just really upset about this movie, starts cheering for the Predator.
That guy respects the forest. Yeah. So Arnie lines up his shot when the Predator gets there. He hits him with the exploding point spear or whatever.
Yep.
And the active camo is lost. And then they have some cat and mouse stuff. And it's good. Eventually, the Predator does catch up to him, throws him against the wall.
Mud comes off of Arnold.
Yes. Yeah, the mud. Yeah. He escapes after going in a little cave thing where the Predator is trying to fake him out like he went that way because of the blood splatter. But he pops up behind him. But after the explosion, one of many explosions to come, he jumps to the water, loses the mud. Predator finds him. But he doesn't kill him. He, respects him now.
Yeah.
So he takes his mask off, and then he's just like, "I'm gonna get you." And they kind of just do some hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, some
Yep.
fisticuffs.
Some
Yeah.
fisticuffs. I wrote
Arnold did
fisticuffs
not
in my
do
notes.
well.
No, Arnold didn't do well.
I was wondering when I was watching that scene, I was wondering if Arnold was like arguing, he's like, "Oh, I should get some good punches in," and then they're like, "No, Arnold, this is an intergalactic killer. Like, you gotta take
Yeah.
some else, buddy.
Yeah,
It's,
but think of
You're
like
gonna win in
Arnold
the
with a
end, it's fine.
python.
You're gonna win with your brain, Arnold." Like, well, that doesn't sound like me. What's the Simpsons were in it? Like I was.
I like to lead, not to read.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was born to lead, not to read.
Yeah, I think to Arnold's credit, he's actually like very into the more like, not being a simple story and having like layers to it. And there's it's a cool moment when he takes his helmet off.
Yeah.
Obviously, although it is a first time watch, you knew that that's what they look like, I assume, with the mandibles and the
Yep.
kind of
Yeah,
it
wide
still looks
faces.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
still it holds up pretty good.
Oh yeah, that's good. I mean, yeah, practical
Practical
effects.
effects
Yeah.
look
Practical
great.
effects are
It is
great
like-
for it. Yeah.
I'm really curious how
Designed
they
by
do the
fucking
mandibles.
Stan Winston. Like, right? Yeah, it's really good. And I think they use a mix of practical and CGI in Prey. And there was some behind the scenes stuff of the mask actually doing some basic movement. Like, it looks awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think throughout the whole movie, I was like, I need to see one of the new Predator movies because I need to see this like modernized. Like, I bet it looks so fucking cool in the new movie.
You would
Yeah.
like Prey. I think so.
I heard really good things about Prey.
Prey's good. You really don't need any of the other Predator.
Oh, okay. I might just watch that one then soon.
I also kind of like, and this might be looking too far into the design, but like that you can kind of see like the evolution of like, oh, this thing was definitely an apex predator like millions of years ago that like has grown into an intelligent being, but like it has like the mouth that looks like it would have probably like millions of years ago had huge like saber-toothed tiger-esque like things, but they're now like small because they're killing shit with their hands and
Yeah.
they don't care as much.
And their guns.
Yep.
Yeah, I really love that the Predator's like, this guy gets the personal treatment.
Yeah.
he's earned it.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's like, is it respect or is it like this? Is like,
is it
I'm
fuck
going
this
to
guy
enjoy
in
this.
particular?
Yeah,
Yes.
like-
It might be a mix of both. I can see the respect though, because he
feel like
could have
it's-
killed him. Like he could have killed
Yeah.
him already when he
Yes.
had him against the tree, but he
Yeah,
didn't.
you had him up by the throat. He could have.
Yeah.
And he had the
He put the thing
knives
around
things
his
right at
head.
that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. The Wolverine claws.
He had multiple opportunities to kill him.
I think when he put the Wolverine claws around his head, I was thinking that he tried to kill him and just missed.
Yeah, but then
You think he's gonna miss?
Whoops. That's on me.
But then he picks him up and does the bit.
Yeah.
I guess.
Where he's like looking at like his,
yeah, I
Yeah.
guess that's
carotid
true.
artery and shit.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, this is where Arnold says, "Oh, ugly motherfucker." But I disagree. I think he looks dope. Not my thing, but like just as
Thank you, sir. He's got a little top hat.
just as like from a creature design standpoint, what a cool looking guy.
Yes, for sure.
And they're doing some stuff. Arnold's getting his ass kicked, and he like crawls over into his trap zone. He's like, "Oh God, bleh,
Yeah.
kill me!" And the Predator's not fooled, but he is because he comes around to a different trap.
So I thought that as well, but I read online that it's actually the counterweight for the trap
Yeah.
that he had set.
Oh, sure.
So he
that
sets.
makes more sense.
So he's more like, ah, shit, my trap got caught out, and then he was like, oh wait, this idiot doesn't know about my counterweight.
Never mind. That makes more sense. He's on the ground under the log, and he says, "What the hell are you?" And it kind of parrots it back to him.
Yeah.
Not using like the not using the recording thing, but it,
Yeah.
like vocalizing it.
Yeah.
And then it does another very iconic image from this movie: his wrist bomb thing
Yep.
Mhm.
that he programs and sets to go.
And it's got the cool like Predator number system.
I'm pretty sure that's the numbers from the Police album.
Yep. Synchronicity.
Yeah. Thank you.
I almost got there. It's like, what is it? What is it? So yeah, this part's really, really very famous. He cues up, I think, Billy's laugh, because I think Billy was the only one that laughed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Billy laughs at the echo joke.
Yes.
Yep.
It's a
Yes, he
slow
does.
burn.
It's a slow burn. It takes him a while to get it. And yeah, the laughter grows and grows as Arnold runs away, but knows exactly when to jump.
So I was actually curious because he runs by perfectly good cover, And then I
He's
remember thinking,
prioritizing distance. I
yeah,
guess.
and I was thinking, I was like, man, I definitely would have jumped behind that thing. And then it turns out that probably would have been a bad decision by me because it was probably too close to that blast.
How long do you think it would have taken you to realize that was a timer? That the predator just
Once
did.
again, when he started
'Cause he took
laughing, for sure.
Well, he starts
Yeah.
laughing, and so like here's the other thing. I'm very happy that Predator culture also has things tick at a higher like sound, like so the higher the beeping
Yeah.
gets, that it's closer to detonating. It was really nice for the Predators to know that,
yeah,
like for our
so
culture.
that would translate.
Yep.
Yeah, big explosion. You cut to the helicopter that Anna and the general are on. You see that they're seeing a big mushroom cloud. And then as the helicopter lands, as the Jabba lands near Arnold's, he emerges with the victorious music playing from the cloud of dust and debris.
Mm.
And then he's still covered in mud, but he's on the helicopter. Sorry, Jabba. And they're just flying off. Cue credits.
And then Charlie Sheen from Platoon starts talking about the terrible.
Yeah, right. I love this style of credits.
Same.
Oh, okay. The 80s action movie credit where everyone turns around.
Top Gun Maverick has the name thing,
Yeah.
but they don't look directly at the camera and do a bit. My question, what would everyone's bit be?
Oh, that was your question.
Carl Weathers catches a gun and Bill Duke like raises his flask.
Yeah. I think I'd probably just do
think-
finger guns.
Yeah, Shane Black kind of does mental finger guns. He just
Yeah.
kind of smiles. you know?
Yeah.
Mine's probably the classic. You see my back, and then I turn around and we're like, oh,
That does
Yeah,
seem
smile
like
at
what
them.
you would do.
Yeah, double take.
Yeah, I think I'd finger guns. I do like the people who walk onto the thing and then it's like they're startled. They're like, "Oh, like you're here."
but then they're like inviteful. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
they're
hey.
like, oh, okay.
You're like, oh yes, these
Or-
people can see us now because they're ghosts.
Yeah. Maybe I do like a little ear, like the little ooh.
It only feels really out of place for the woman who plays Anna
Yep.
to be like so happily smiling at the camera. It's like
Yeah.
you were captive for most of this movie.
But she survived and probably has the least. Well, considering it's her and Arnold that are the only people who live, she probably has the most trauma. Maybe Arnold probably has the most trauma that he has to deal with out of this. right?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, the government's going to torture her for information.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. That's
I
later,
was
though.
I was joking.
but that's later.
That's not in
They
this
really
movie.
they really should have put another woman on the helicopter and had her ask her about something so they could pass the Bechtel test. It's like, "Dude,
No,
you like
not-
helicopters? I love helicopters. Just,
That's
ooh,
it. You pass it.
No chance.
What's your name?
Nope. I don't think there's even another woman at all in this movie.
No chance in this.
Why?
Unless the Predator was a woman. We don't know.
I don't.
This
even,
is true.
I am glad that she didn't end up fucking Arnold, or something. Because
I mean, I am too.
yeah, I feel like that might have been a
low
stupid.
bar.
It might
But
have been a
low bar.
I mean, but that's the thing. When I see just one woman,
yeah.
like I'm just like, oh, this is gonna be like the sex object. But
You know,
she
class-
wasn't at least.
Classic 80s meet cute where you get hit in the nose with the back of a rifle.
Anytime you pick up a gun, he just kicks it out of your hand.
Yeah. So I have a few questions written down for discussion. Could you beat the Predator?
Yeah.
Arnold
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, I think I could.
One on one. No, I can do it in a fisticuffs.
That's
I can-
the problem, though.
I can punch him.
You can outsmart him, but you got to get him to a place where he wants to punch you
Yeah.
and not just kill you.
I'll hit
yeah.
him in the nuts.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
can-
Oh, yeah.
that's
He
about
seems
to
like a
get
guy.
my
You
plan.
see, he's
Right
never
in the
seen
nuts.
that coming. That's the funny thing about the Predators that none of them have ever been hit in the nuts before, so they don't get
That'd
it.
That'll
my
be a whole new
go-to.
thing for him. Yeah, I probably couldn't. I'd probably pull a Billy, but not in such a courageous way.
Yeah,
More in just like, oh, fuck it way.
it is an interesting thing to think. Like, if I was walking out of the woods, seeing my friends picked off, I might just kill myself. Like, I don't think I'd want to deal with that.
Yeah, it depends. If you like,
Self predator yourself.
Yeah,
like if everyone was going the way Hawkins was going, you might be like, nah.
No.
nah. Yeah, getting shot in
But
the
at least
head
you're
probably
like-
isn't
yeah,
that
right.
bad. Yeah.
A bunch of them just kind of get shot and die immediately. Like,
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
think Jesse the Body Ventura bled out or anything.
no, he was dead before he hit the ground.
Yeah.
His insides were gone.
Yeah.
Not out.
Yep. You need your heart.
Gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, they make the point. There's a big oval in him,
Yep.
and that stuff didn't go anywhere. It's gone.
It's gone.
Also, if you had to pick just one line or image in this movie that was like the most iconic, so we talked about the arms grabbing meme, the bomb wrist thing, get to the chopper.
I think it's get to the chopper.
Fucking might be,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it's not one of the badass lines.
No.
It's
just
weird
the
that
easiest
He
one
like
to
yells
like,
it in
quote.
pain, basically.
He yells it in pain. People say chopper a lot in this movie.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen it before, you might not realize that that's not the only time that someone is yelling about a chopper.
Yeah.
This is and it get to the choppa is probably like the most like Arnold line out there, where it's like in his
Yeah.
accent specifically.
Yes.
Like I'll be back. It's
Yeah.
And hasta la
Yeah.
vista.
Yeah, no,
I feel
you
like
might be
people
right.
also say it more badass, and again, like like what
It's
you
not.
just said, like no one says it
It
the
is.
way he
It's a
says it.
desperate plea
Yeah,
to an ally for them to flee.
yeah, but like I feel like it's mostly said by douchebags walking to like a chopper to take them to their next board meeting,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna get to the chopper, bro." And it-
Yeah,
It's like not like no one yells like "Get to the chopper."
as they're on the ground about to die.
I just took a bunch of Quaaludes and I'm crawling to this chopper.
Speaking of movies I need to watch again.
There you go.
We'll do a Wall Street month. Yeah, I think it probably is that. I mean, the Predator vision, I don't know if you can like count that as just one moment, but that and I feel like the bomb at the end was the things most parodied by the cartoons I watched growing up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Does he do like the neck like the throat like sound like the I can't do it, but like the tick like
The clicking. The whickering.
yeah, the wickering.
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't know how to describe it either, but that's very
I feel like
in
that happens.
there.
It's very in there, but I shouldn't have said he does. Like I feel like I hear that parodied a lot and stuff, but I don't know if that's more from other movies where he does it more. It's almost like a thing that's kind of thrown in there to give him some like.
So there's some soundscape weird alienness when you're in the
Yeah,
Predator vision.
exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times. Yeah, and then you know, I think I'd probably go with that too. If it bleeds, we can kill it is up there. But
Yeah, and if
I
we
mean, it
bleeds,
probably
we
is get to the chopper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
If we
If
bleed.
we bleed,
If we believe,
it can
It
kill
can
it.
kill it.
If it bleeds, we can kill it. I feel like is one of those things that will come up in context a lot.
Also, not.
But
And then the scene ends, but it's not really like a big moment. Like
No.
stick around.
yeah,
It's not. He doesn't say it with that, so it's weird that those are the two that get pulled out, and it makes sense. But in the context of the movie, neither is a big like cheer line.
Yeah.
this movie probably like Blank, you son of a bitch. Like that.
Yeah.
That couldn't have been from this movie.
I don't still like. That's the funny thing because I feel like a bunch of people say "blank, you son of a bitch," but no one says it in like an Arnold's voice.
No,
like, but I feel like people
they,
have
I
said.
think they are referencing.
I agree, but yeah, unless it's like the Rick and Morty son of a bitch, I'm in.
Yeah,
'Cause, you know, but
that's a different use of son of a
it
bitch.
is.
I think if we're going by stills, it's definitely that scene though with the handshake. I feel like I've seen that still
Especially
from this
lately.
movie.
It made,
Yeah,
it
the
made
mo-
a late run in the last
Yeah.
like 5 years
Yeah.
or whatever.
I also like
The
just
first 20 years this was out. That
Right.
was,
as a pivot slightly. What's the best Arnold corny line in his history?
oh, I don't know.
I guess it
Does-
probably
can-
is. I'll
can
be
you pick
back.
ones. I was gonna say, is it fair to pick ones from like family comedies that he's done?
Right? Oh, maybe not a tumor.
It wasn't exactly the movie I was thinking.
I
But
do.
yeah, like would you just take like him saying Turbo Man from Jingle All the Way? That doesn't feel in the spirit of the question.
I mean, I
you
really
know?
like.
I think it
You're
has to
Fi-
be like cheesy action movie.
I
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
like You're Fired and True Lies.
It's so
Yeah.
it's
So
really
good.
good. The guy's like, wait a minute.
They
what?
zoom in on his face and everything.
Oh,
It's like, oh no.
I do really like the line of remember when I promised I kill you last?
Oh yeah,
I lied.
That's really good. I mean, just from an Impact's part,
Who's
Yeah.
that's
that?
really
David Francis Kelly. I forget it. He's got a 3 name. Pedro Patrick Kelly, the guy from Warriors. He has a fantastic scream when he falls.
Yeah.
It is incredible. That like how that hasn't become the Wilhelm scream. I don't know. But yeah. Oh yeah. Cool Off.
Yeah.
All those. I forgot about all those. I know that's what you were evoking, but like
yeah,
just,
yeah. Like you wouldn't count
call
Batman
those.
and Robin because that doesn't seem fair for
Mhm.
the
Well, he does have another. Oh wait, blow off some
Blow
steam.
off some steam,
Yeah.
Bennett.
chill out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Cool Off's from Hot Fuzz. Just say Cool Off. Shame.
This is a question that I'm going to ask in every episode this month. I almost said week, but I mean, both are true. I didn't ask in the Arrival episode, not because I forgot to, but just because it's an idea I had afterwards. It feels like with the themes, there should be like a thing we do every time.
Okay.
And I'm not just stealing that from Doughboys, who just did Munch Madness, who have the same questions that they ask at the end of every episode during Munch Madness. But maybe we are. What would you give to the alien in this movie to either foster harmony between our species or to get them to just leave?
Probably a bunch of human skulls. Hey, you can go bring these.
You don't have to tell them where you got these.
There's this guy in Cambodia named Pol Pot. You're gonna go there and you're gonna have a great time.
Maybe give him like, hey, Predator. So we're gonna give you this island. That's where we put all our convicts, like the worst of the worst. You go over there, kill them. You get, it's free. You can just do it. Have fun. These guys are killers, so they're going to be dangerous. So, good luck.
You just gave him the continent of Australia.
Is this just the Condemned, but with a predator?
Yeah.
In involuntary, I think, as well.
Any thoughts?
Man. I can't think of anything.
I would give them back their blaster because that's what they give them in Alien versus Predator to get them to work together.
Yep.
Well, we have to get their blaster first then, right?
Yeah, it's a really complicated situation. We got to go to the Arctic or Antarctica.
And also there has to be a third party, so there's the enemy of the enemy is my friend.
It's a really bad situation that we got to get to for this to work. But
There's gotta be an alien
but
queen
if it
involved.
works,
Wait, I know.
I'll
become a politician, and I'll be like, I have diplomatic immunity. You cannot kill me.
Yep. But what if he shoots you in the head?
Oh,
Because then it's
I
been
didn't think of
revoked.
that.
Bree, what would you give the aliens to foster harmony or get them to leave?
Foster harmony? I seriously can't think of anything. Just introduce them to like dogs. I feel like they see a dog. They can't kill a dog.
No,
because they're not.
What? Oh no, that dog has a knife in its mouth.
Peace was never an
the dog.
option.
It's
the
the dog
dog's
from
fault.
Metal Gear Solid.
At that point, it's the dog's fault.
There's a Predator movie later on where they don't seem like dogs.
Oh no! Don't tell me that. Shit.
Well, now I'm off the Predator.
Welcome to doesthedogdie.com. Don't look it up for predators.
All right.
Real quick before you get to your next question, how do we feel about the music in this movie? Because I kind of didn't like it.
So there,
Alan Silvestri does a thing.
Yep.
And he does it a lot.
Yep.
there is like early on, I think when the Predator is looking at the group and he's like recording their voices, you can hear some of the music, and it reminded me of the Forest Temple from Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I clocked that too. Yeah.
I just heard a lot of jarring chords over and over again every time anybody did anything.
Yeah, there were some
Yeah.
jarring chords that didn't fit what was happening.
Yeah.
There was one time where like
That's what it's horns.
yeah, he just like Arnold like moves his arm once like a little bit and it's like ding.
Yeah, they weren't very impactful.
It's yeah, I don't know.
I don't think it's a bad movie because of it, but it was the one thing I was thinking. I was like, this.
Yes.
Does anybody? I was gonna say, does anybody load up the Predator original soundtrack and go, yeah, we're gonna put this in the background?
It's probably like the least iconic thing in this movie.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring it up because it was like
Early on, it was working for me because like before they even know there's a predator and they're just sort of like slowly walking through the jungle. It's like, okay, it's a pretty like propulsive score. And it's like, okay, if it wasn't that, then this part might feel a little inert.
yeah.
But yeah, as it goes on, you probably want something a little more elemental for this,
Yeah,
I feel like.
agree. I was almost expecting some like 80s synth like fight stuff.
But
to
yeah.
go on and done.
So if you don't know, Alan Silvestri is Zemeckis' guy. And if you don't know Zemeckis, so Silvestri did all the music for Back to the Future movies.
There you go. Now you
and-
know what you're talking about.
Yes, and Avengers. He did all the Avengers movies.
I don't think I knew he did the Avengers. Interesting.
Yeah. So not the fanfare that plays over the Marvel Studios credit
Yeah.
at the beginning, which is I think Giacchino,
Yep.
but the like bum 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 bum,
Yep.
bum that's Silvestri. I think.
The thing that I remember most about that is I think it was actually Mike Voss like 10 years ago. He was like, "Oh yeah, the Avengers." Like we were talking about iconic themes like in movies, and we're like, "Oh," and he's like, "Oh, and the MCU theme," and I'm like, "Which one?" And he did basically what you just did. I was like, "I literally don't know what you're talking about," and it's like,
okay, well, now
and
you
then,
know
but no,
'cause
but
Voss.
wait, but then they were like, it was funny because like the very next one I saw. I was like, "Oh, that was the sound Voss made." Ah, shit! It happened. Like,
It happens. It's hard to track, and like if you Google who did the Avengers theme, it'll just tell you it's Silvestri.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, but the themes are all building upon each other, and so many different
that's
composers have worked on the MCU. But I'm pretty sure it's Silvestri because he did, I think, the Captain America movies and all the Avengers movies.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Also, I do want to just say a lot of early Marvel movies didn't really use like
Right.
a composer. They just had like stock music.
They were reusing stuff. Yeah. Well, they didn't know what was coming.
Yeah.
That was Paramount or whatever. Yeah.
Kevin Feige knew, or whatever his name is.
So yeah,
It's Feige.
Feige.
we already mentioned a lot of fun stuff. We didn't mention this movie was directed by John McTiernan.
Yeah.
We talked about him before
Oh yeah, we did. Well,
on Die Hard when we did the Die Hard episode, and we may have mentioned then, but a couple things to note about John McTiernan. This is his debut studio movie. It's his second movie, but it's his debut like studio movie. And 87, 88, 90, he goes Predator, Die Hard, Hunt for Red October, which is about as good as you can get for that era. I don't know if anyone's doing a 1, 2, 3 like he is then, besides, I guess we did James
Spielberg.
Cameron. Spielberg, yeah. I mean, late 80s, early 90s Spielberg, though.
yeah.
Just talking
Up
about
until
like action
93,
movies.
That's true.
Spielberg was not doing too well. He had Last Crusade in 89.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I was more. Yeah.
Yeah.
E.T.'s too early.
Yeah,
Jurassic
right.
Park's
Yeah.
too late.
But yes, to have those 3 movies in 3 years is pretty up there. Hunt for Red October, maybe not thought of as much as the other 2 I mentioned. This and
I
Die
still
Hard,
haven't seen
though.
Hunt for Red October, and the
That
plot
did-
seems really cool.
And that did launch the Jack Ryan series.
Yep.
Hunt for Red October's dope.
Yeah.
He hasn't made a movie since really 2002. In 2003, he makes a huge bomb called Basic, which basically doesn't exist. It was the reunion 9 years later of Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
But no one cared. It bombed horribly. And then he went to jail for a bit. His his like criminal part of his Wikipedia is almost as long as his career part.
Oh, when you said
So you know-
jail, I thought you meant like director jail.
No, real person
No,
jail.
Actual jail.
Criminal for
What do you
crimes. Crimes.
Crimes? Oh.
Those are the worst crimes.
I don't know all
lock
the
him up.
I don't know all the details.
Is it white collar?
It's not because he made
Perjury. Oh, did he say? He said Die Hard was a Christmas movie, and you were the judge. That's what happened.
It's because they saw Rollerball, and he's like, stop trying to make Chris Klein happen.
Or Chris Klein.
He's our 5th Chris.
I will be the Chris.
He's the hard 5th.
I will be the 5th Chris. Damn it.
That's not even
Katie
that.
Holmes loves me.
That's not even that far off. Apparently, he pleaded guilty to perjury and lying to an FBI investigator in regards to his hiring of private investigator in late 2000 to illegally wiretype the phone calls of 2 people, one of whom is Charles Roven, co-producer of Rollerball.
It was Rollerball. It was Rollerball the whole time. All along.
Chris Klein was working against him.
How did this end up in the same universe as Alien? I realized that first Alien and this movie similar structurally to an extent, but not a lot of similarities beyond there's a group of people and something is picking them off one by one.
So one
Same studio, right?
20th century?
Yep. It was.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. So the video game, the video game couldn't have been the first piece of media, could it have?
It must have been like a comic book, I imagine.
Yeah, it must
Yeah,
have
it
been
must
like
have
a
been.
comic book. Because I know I don't remember when the first video game came out, but I know the second video game came out before the first movie because I had already been playing the video game before the movie came out.
For Predator movies, does it go Predator 1, Predator 2, and then like a nothing
gap.
until like Alien vs Predator?
I believe that is correct. unless I'm.
It began as a comic book series in 1989, so like
Nice.
really not that far
Yeah.
after this movie came out.
Someone was like, "Well, this is an alien."
I mean,
And
it's
this is an
it's a really good combo. I mean, if you like,
Kind of like Freddy versus Jason, where you just get two icons and you make them fight.
yeah. I mean, you have a thing that's known for hunting the most dangerous things in the world,
And then you have the most dangerous.
xenomorphs are one of the most dangerous things in the world.
It makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
It does make sense. It's just like plenty of things make sense, but yes, being the same studio probably
Mhm.
helps.
And then if you put Ash from Evil Dead in there, I think that makes it even a bigger winner.
Yeah, he's unkillable. This is written by two brothers. This was their first script. The
Russos.
not the Russos.
Cohen's?
The Usos. Jim and John Thomas. After a joke about after Rocky IV, a joke circulated in Hollywood that since Rocky had run out of earthly opponents, he'd have to fight an alien. And the screenwriters, Jim and John Thomas, were like, yeah. And they didn't really have any reputation at all, so they basically like slid it under someone's door at Fox. And I guess it worked out. They would later go on to very lofty heights, writing a lot of blockbusters you've heard of, and also Wild Wild West.
God. It's surprising to me that, and I know this is but this movie screams like we have it's a very easy quotes concept, just kind of stick them in there, man against man, or man against alien, mano y mano, but alien. And then from more of the McTiernan standpoint, jumping from that to Die Hard seems incredible to me. But it's not surprising that these guys were just all right, now Wild Wild West, what we good?
Yeah. They did stuff in between too, but yeah, no, it makes sense. Directing wise, I feel like he has the juice here.
He's got the juice.
Yeah.
It probably helps that he's filming in an office building and not a Mexican rainforest. But
Well, I meant in Predator, I feel
Yeah.
like he's got it. And,
It's pretty-
and then, yeah, I mean, on the Die Hard episode, we were gushing about how it's just the most perfect way you can film action sequences, and every scene of that movie is like a different game,
yep.
and it's and there's bosses in each thing, and it feels so good. But I like this a lot too. Like I said, I don't know if I probably have seen it all the way through in a sitting ish, but commercial breaks and not tuning in and out, but just being on the vibe with it, I liked it a lot. What did you guys think?
I loved it.
I liked it. It was great.
I liked it.
You bought a shirt about it, so
I did.
you already own that, or
I did already on this,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, good.
Yeah, I like the monster a lot, and I just really like horror icons. But
Yeah,
I'd never seen the first one all the way through or anything. I experienced a lot of media of it.
yeah. On that note, genre stuff. I think
Genre.
I've referred to this as an action movie a lot more throughout this podcast, but I think it starts that way as even an action adventure. Ooh, we're getting the band together. We're going out into the jungle. We're tracking these guys down. We're making fun one-liners and winning easily. But it becomes a lot. It weaves in the sci-fi and the horror definitely as it goes more on. What do you guys think?
Thriller, definitely. In the
I'd
end.
say action thriller.
Yeah.
It's probably the closest you can get to it.
And sci-fi.
There's
you have
sci-fi.
to-
I'm hesitant to say. I mean, it is sci-fi because there is an alien in there and he's using sci-fi stuff.
It's not nearly as sci-fi as AVP is.
Yeah.
Or Alien.
And I do like that it's an action thriller that uses horror elements to it, or slasher elements, I guess is more.
It's more slasher. There's no real jump scares. There's no real time. There's time where there's tension. I don't think was a time where I was ever scared, and I am a
Big
big
baby.
baby. Yeah.
That's probably
History's
a good
biggest
barometer.
baby. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely action sci-fi. I still think it's a horror movie because you don't need to shit your pants in order to be scared in a horror movie. I
Yeah.
think something can just be a horror movie.
Also, the characters are very scared for a lot of the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, there's the whole scene with Bill Duke shaving, and then he
Oh, yeah.
cuts himself and then breaks the razor.
Not only are they all scared, but they're showing you so many different varieties of being the most scared
Mhm.
Yeah.
a character has ever been.
Yeah,
And these are the toughest guys.
Yeah, and
and
Arnold
they
Schwarzenegger.
lose their minds.
Arnold Schwarzenegger ends the movie completely catatonic.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's scared too.
Yeah.
He's fighting for his life.
Yeah, I would firmly put this in horror. It's definitely action and it's definitely sci-fi. It's a pretty even blend of the three for me.
Yeah, I like that. I think it really does shift after the gorilla camp
Yeah.
Yeah.
to be like certainly thriller the rest of the way,
And they
with still action.
sprinkle in like a few horror stuff because there's like the three
I mean, you're
bodies that are
seeing
skinned alive.
This-
Yeah.
yeah, you're seeing.
Before
Yeah, there's
that.
gore. Like there's
it's
actual
pretty goopy. It gets pretty goopy.
Hawkins's death is pretty scary. Like it doesn't actually like
Oh, yeah.
in that way. It didn't jump scare me or anything, but it is.
Yeah, no,
not
no
a-
jump scares.
It's not a
but it
pleasant.
is
Like he gets
scary.
dragged away. Like he's screaming. It's very bad.
The ripping of like the spine with the skull, or
Yeah.
like that's
That's
pretty
tough.
scary imagery.
yeah,
Yeah, you think about that happening to you, and you probably wouldn't like that.
Oh, I haven't done it yet.
yeah.
yeah, and he's so happy. He's like, yay!
Yeah, he's whipping it around like a helicopter.
I did
Oh,
it,
chopper.
guys.
Sorry.
Anyway, on a scale of 0.5 to 5 on any scale of your choosing, aside from stars, what would you give to later be added to our letterbox? Late to the movies on letterbox.com. What would you give 1987's John McTiernan?
McTiernan.
John McTiernan film, Predator.
I would give it 4 out of 5 Billy laughs.
Mm,
I do 5 out of 5 glow stick blood.
I like it.
3.5 stick arounds.
Damn.
Have you given anything a lower grade than that on this film?
Draft day?
I think I gave Draft Day a 3. So my thought was that I liked this movie. I liked it. And I wasn't crazy about it, and I feel like I can't just keep giving things 4s and 5s every time. I like
I
it.
dig it.
3.5 is a good score.
I think that's lower than what you said when we watched it, though.
I said 3.5 or 4.
Did you?
I kind of like I reinforced back to
Shaded.
3.5.
Sometimes you need time away from the film to really get
And,
to
like, to
how
be-
you actually feel about it.
That
That's true.
is fair.
Yeah.
You know that.
To be fair, when we were like, I did say earlier today, I barely remember anything about Predator to talk about besides like the big lines.
There's not
the
that much
death.
to remember. It's a pretty to the point movie.
I'm
only an hour
so
40.
Toy.
Yeah.
the other problem that I have, a problem in quotes, like that basically makes it not like
Big
a,
problem.
a huge movie for me is I'm a big snappy dialogue guy, and there's good dialogue. I'm not going to say it's bad, but it's not snappy.
Yeah,
And I
it's
don't
not like
demand. I don't.
Shane
dem-
Black level.
I don't.
Snappy.
Yeah, exactly. And with Shane Black in the movie, you think that the man who made Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, a clear 5 out of 5 movie, is in this movie, and he only has a couple of off-colored jokes. It's good. I think they objectively, I'd probably give it a higher score, but for me personally, it's 3.5.
4 out of 5 tiny dots of light on Bill Duke's forehead.
Here you go.
Very good.
That's it.
But the
Thank
3.
you guys. What?
There were 3 dots. There were clearly 3 dots.
Yeah, no, it's 4 out of 5.
Ugh.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I remember. It was,
It was a
4 out of
square.
5. It was making a square.
Ugh.
2 people say that it was happened. Bree, do you remember?
Yeah, I think that was a little whole diamond.
Yeah, it counts. Thank you guys for being on. It was Vaz, Bree, and Sam. Sometimes people say thanks for having me.
No,
You came
not
here.
anymore.
Whatever. It's okay, I guess. I came to your house on a weeknight. I live pretty far away. It's okay.
You forced me to come here, so
Right, yeah.
thank you. I have an excuse.
We live in adjacent towns. He and I do. Anyway,
Yeah, what do we do this at your house, boss?
Oh,
Thanks for coming, guys.
yeah, all right.
I gave
sure.
you a smart water.
It just leaked all over my damn hands. And my mud's all gone.
I'll bring it. It's a 3 now. It's a 3.
It's a 3. I'll put it
blame the
below
movie.
draft day.
Yeah. I will keep going.
So you can find us on Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcast, iTunes, Google Podcasts. Last week we called out Bing Podcasts. If it doesn't exist, Google a better podcast app.
that's G's podcast.
As Chiefs Podcast. We are on. No, I was gonna make another joke, but there's no time. You can find us on Instagram at late2themovies_podcast. You can find us at Gmail, late to the movies podcast@gmail.com. T-Public, did you like the ladies episode? Do you want to own a big 7-foot wide tapestry with a crudely drawn logo for that one episode that I made? You can do it on tpublic.com. Just search for us. Thanks again for being on, and good predator to you.
Good predator to you.
Cool.
Podcast, you son of a bitch.
All right, that's it. I'm gonna hit stop.
Don't you hit stop. All right, you can hit it.
I'm gonna hit it. I was gonna do the thing.
What?
All right.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh.
Dun, 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 dun. Predator.
There it is.
It had the right amount of syllables.
Yeah, that's like the one time.